dark and stormy night. I was on 32nd Street in Manhattan, and I was in the
Hey,
thick of
sorry
it.
I'm late.
This here is Detective Botticelli, late as usual.
I see.
As usual.
Sorry I'm so late, Dr. Donatello. Let me just slip on my glasses so I can see all the details.
Yes, this case, we really had to zoom in and zoom out to get all the clues.
It's very important, you know? You gotta see the big picture, but you also gotta see the tiniest little clue. Very, very important in detective work.
Now, just like in that case, there are many different ways to get what you want. And the same is true in illustration and drawing, okay?
Yeah, very important. You know, hey, this reminds me of a little math anecdote I heard a while ago. What was that?
I think it has something to do with 2 plus 2?
Yeah, if 2 plus 2 is the only way to get to 4, life would be pretty boring.
Very boring.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, there's at least 4 different ways.
At least 4, if not more.
If not more.
I think there's more.
What?
Math is pretty complex.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
division, is one thing.
I think I want addition at some point in school.
That too, there's square rooting. 4 is a very versatile number when you think about it.
And just like the versatility, illustrators have many different methods that they can use in the studio when they're story storming.
Wow, story storming?
You know what that is?
I don't. That's such a cool word.
That's a form of brainstorming with drawings.
That's really interesting. So you're saying that there is a myriad of different ways to create your art.
Myriad?
Yeah, it's basically like a variety. You got options.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some illustrators, they like to start in the background and then they move to the foreground, you know, from backwards.
Ooh, so like looking at the whole crime scene versus, and then going in to look at the very tiny details, the little crumbs.
That's exactly right.
The little clues.
Now, some people, they like to use the flip books, you know?
Oh, love the flip books.
Yeah? Yeah, you know, it's where you got that little book and it's got all those pages and you draw on the corners and then you flip it. And it's like an animation.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is that what we're doing today?
No.
What are we doing today?
So today, we're going to learn how to start at the center of an idea and then move out to find the big picture. You know, this is how we started with our crime scene.
This is how we started with all of our
one detail,
cases.
and then we move out and create the rest of the picture.
Okay, so this is all very well and good, but I gotta know, who is this for? Like, what kind of kids are we looking for?
We're looking for kids about the ages of 6 to 13, you know?
Like a range, okay.
Yeah, but you know, if you're an adult and your mind is 5 to 13, 6 to 13.
Like this one.
Alright, listen, just because I didn't finish 5th grade doesn't mean nothing,
I'm
okay?
sorry, I've got the observational skills. I could tell by your left pinky toe that you didn't finish the 5th grade.
Okay, alright.
The coloration, you know?
Coloration,
It's
okay. Yeah. Alright, to get started now, okay? To get started, you're going to have a nice space for your creative juices to get flowing.
Right, because we want to get that art flag a flying.
Yeah, art flag a flying, you know? So you might need some help with your parents for this one, you know? Setting up a little corner in the house.
Parents are tricky characters.
Yeah, they're usually they're the first suspects I usually think of.
Oh, always. So you're going to want their help getting everything together, but after that,
kick them out.
Say goodbye.
They're like the Stadies. You don't want them in there. They mess up the crime scene.
They do. And if you're feeling fun and flirty, why don't you grab yourself a friend? Like, always good to have your partner by your side. You gotta have your partner. They see things that you won't. It's important. Even me.
I'm colorblind. She sees all the color for me.
Exactly. That's why we do all the accents, because I do the accents so he can see the colors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very important. Okay, so we got our stuff. We got our space. We made a little sign that said Art Studio Crime Scene. Do not enter. What do we need?
So, material-wise, you know, you're gonna need your trust. Okay, you don't really need this, but you can have a nice magnifying glass.
Like
it's more fun.
Not necessary. Optional.
You're gonna need some glue.
Glue stick.
The pink tape is optional, but I like to customize my things, you know. You need a black pen. Could be Sharpie, could be something else. It's up to you. And then you're gonna need some pencils, because it's all about drawing in here. We're drawing.
Is it all about drawing?
For this project, it's all about drawing.
Because this is part of what? The DrawPaintSculpt line or something?
It's part of the DrawPaintSculpt line. So
an immersive art studio experience for creative and bold kids. You couldn't have fooled me. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Okay.
Now, the most complex part of this is you're gonna need a nice big sheet of drawing paper.
Drawing paper. Oh my god.
Now, you're not just gonna be able to draw on this. You gotta do something special, okay? So first, you're gonna want to fold it hamburger style, you know?
Hamburger style. Okay, good.
Not any hot dogs. That's for
No
Coney
hot
Islanders.
dogs. That's true. Can you show it up so I can't quite see?
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
You fold it in half.
You're
and then you're gonna
colorblind
wanna-
on
I'm
regular.
colorblind. She's regular blind. You're gonna want to crease the edges so it's nice and easy to rip. You can use your nail, all right? Crease it, and then you can rip it, or you can use scissors. It's up to you.
Oh, but I like a good rip. You know.
Go ahead, rip.
Dangerous. Oh, did
Look at
you
that
see
line.
that?
That was surgical.
Crisp. Oh,
Guess
just
what?
like our detective work.
Mm-hmm. You do it again.
Do it again. Okay.
Do it again.
Let's see it.
Fold like before.
So, I might just be putting the pieces together, assembling the clues in my head, but basically it comes out to,
That's your first sheet.
oh my gosh.
Then, once you rip this, you got your second sheet. And guess what? You gotta do it one more time, and you get this super small one.
So we have 3 different sizes
3
of paper.
different sizes of paper.
Big, small, medium. Call me Goldilocks and the 3 bears. I think I wrapped this case up.
Not quite.
No.
We're gonna go to step 1.
Let's do step 1.
Once you get your paper ready.
I'm thrilled.
So step 1 is to start with the smallest piece of paper you got, alright? You wanna start with the center of your story, alright? So you gotta have a good sense of what your story is gonna be.
So what's some inspiration? Like we've got our cases to inspire us, but if
Of course.
you're not a detective, like where are you gonna go for inspiration?
Well, you can choose your favorite book, your favorite movie.
Well, what about like a news headline? Very
Ooh,
mysterious.
news headlines are very good, very good. You got some weird ones. You know,
There was one you were telling me about the other day.
yeah, I think it was like two-headed baby was born in the Queen, something like that.
Something like that. There was another one about chipmunks running wild on the streets of Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. They
Crazy
were eating
time.
everybody's potted plants.
Yeah. God,
They-
how dare you disrespect the potted plant of another person?
Rude. It should be a crime.
Should be a crime.
It is a crime.
It's a crime to me.
So, make sure you draw light. I'm not sure if you're able to see this very well. That's why you gotta have your magnifying glass.
Yes.
But I drew very light, and I started the first, in little detail, the dark and stormy night, you know?
Yeah.
You got the silhouette, you got the beautiful city in the background, and once you're finished, you take your medium piece of paper, alright? Now, do you think there's only one spot you can put this?
Well, yeah, of course. There's only one spot for anything, right?
Forget about it! No. This is your drawing. It's your story. You can put it wherever you want.
Wherever?
Wherever. The possibilities,
My God.
endless.
Endless.
You can put it in the middle. You can put it in the corner.
To the side.
To the side, to the
Up and
bottom.
down.
Up. You can put
Can
it.
you put it upside down?
You can put it upside down.
Wow, I feel so fun and creative. So, like you were talking about, here's my example.
Yeah, what's yours?
I started with our very own magnifying glass. You can always start with a little story. You got it locked up in your brain. Something to do with one of the things you have in front of you. It reminds me of a very interesting case, and we'll get to that. The most important part of it was the magnifying glass. It's really the heart of the whole story.
Yeah, so once you have finished your first detail,
Yes.
you take your glue, you put it on the back of your piece of paper, you slap it down wherever you want on your middle, and then you come back to us and we'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so now that you have glued the smallest piece of paper onto the middle size, right?
Yeah.
You gotta elaborate, expand.
Elaborate?
Elaborate the
Could you
story.
explain to me what elaborate means?
It means
Expand?
explain. You answered your own question.
Well, thank you. I tend to do
Like a
that.
good detective. Good detectives answer their own questions.
Yes.
So once you've glued it to the middle piece of paper, continue your story.
Continue.
Who's
your
around?
story.
What's going on? So like for the chipmunks, right? Maybe you're starting with the chipmunk eating a potted plant, okay?
Mm.
And then when you get to your middle piece, maybe you had the fire escape, or like a woman in a window screaming her head off.
very interesting because of course she was distraught.
Of course, I would be distraught.
Who wouldn't be distraught?
It's your potted
A
plants.
perfectly potted plant munched away by little chipmunk cheeks. It's just horrendous.
It wasn't even a squirrel. No chipmunks in New York.
So for example, for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
This, like I said, is based off of the very famous case that we handled just last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the microphone.
Microphone. That's the wrong one. That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. You're right. We have the mic.
Nope.
Refine.
Magnifying glass.
Yeah, that's what I just
magnifying
said.
glass.
I'm sorry. The magnifying glass.
And then a boyfriend Mike.
Oh, I am so sorry that I'm just so tongue-tied, but I am just reliving the trauma that was this case. So I've got that right here, smack dab in the center, because I was actually examining a teapot. Now, you might not think a teapot would be particularly interesting, but I do have to say, this teapot turned out to be the murder weapon. You'll see how in the final picture it all comes together, but very important. So that's, that's the secondary character.
Yeah, secondary character. You can always add a secondary character.
Primary character.
Primary.
This secondary. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh. See? It was like this. It was like this.
But
Foreshadowing.
the
Foreshadowing.
one, get out of the way. You don't want to be murdered. It was the murder weapon. Woo.
The ghosts follow.
They do. Tampering with evidence is horrible.
Tampering with evidence. So, once you've done this, you're finished. So see, I added the rest of the city, the alley, and you can see our thief. Our thief in the alleyway.
Oh God.
He's lacking.
He is? Let me see.
He's right there. You remember him?
Oh, perpetrator got written all over his face. Gosh. You could just see him.
You can see him. So, you do it all over again.
All
You
over
glue
again.
the 2 pieces of paper onto the big one, and you blow it up some more.
You know what I call that?
You call it
Paperwork.
paperwork.
Thank you.
That's so
Thank you very
good.
much. I'll be here all week.
I've got so much left to do. It'll
So
take me
it's
hours.
basically all of our work. You think it's going to be...
This is why you don't go to detective school. Don't go to detective school, kids. All right. We'll see you in a little bit once you're finished, okay? So once you have your whole picture, you got to make sure you started out light, right? Just in case you made a mistake so you can erase it.
I never make mistakes. I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
Lord. Here we go again. Anyway, once you're finished, you want to make sure you start darkening it in. Because once it's done,
What kind of tool should I use for that?
Well, you can either use, I'm using a darker pencil right
Okay.
now. However, oh my God, this is from 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago,
Oh my God.
the was
The ghost is coming
the
back.
ghost is coming back. They chopped down 3 trees in Central Park. It was terrible.
It was
horrible. Terrible.
Oh my God, those poor trees. God, the plant murders. They happen so often in
I'm
this
trying to teach it, but the ghosts keep coming back.
They keep coming back. Oh.
To really darken it in, once you're really done, you ink it in with this, okay? With your marker, your black marker, or your black pen.
Can I use any color, or do I have
You
to
can
use
use
a
any
black
color
marker?
you want. It's all up to you.
Really?
It's all up to you.
Yeah, it is good. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you would be able to tell with your color blindness, but
I would never be able to tell. She would tell me. She never
I would
lies.
tell you. I'd have to get very close with my magnifying glass, but I would eventually tell you. Yes. So, shall I go ahead and tell them what's going on in the big picture here?
Yeah, let's hear the big picture.
Okay. So, I've only just started to darken it in, so I still have mostly pencil, but I will explain to you the final layer of this case. Very important. So, you might recall that I told you that the teapot was the murder weapon, because that's what we all thought. But it turns out it's actually very secretive. I noticed with the magnifying glass that there was a little bit of the teapot broken off, you see? And at first we thought that this was used for some sort of blunt force trauma to some sort of herb or vegetable or bush, Because the usual, the plants.
They really get it around New York. I don't know what's up with that.
They really do. But in fact, it wasn't blunt force trauma at all. It was purposely broken off. I noticed there was a little kind of hole inside the teapot. Turns out there were bank codes rolled up on a piece of paper and put inside the arm of the teapot. It was crazy. So somebody came in and stole them. There was no murder at all.
Little did we know.
Little did we know.
They were trying to break into the seed bank.
They were trying to break into the seed
They were
bank.
going to steal the seeds.
So we superseded
Terrible.
this.
Superseded it.
We saw it happening from a mile away.
Mile
We
away.
put guards all around the seed bank.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily our rare plants are safe for another
They're
day.
safe.
They're safe another day. So what are you,
So, like her,
Yeah.
I'm not done inking it in, but so you remember that I said this all started on 32nd Street, right?
Yes, it did.
Well,
That's where it started.
this is more of like an abstract paint illustration, you know, because all of a sudden we're at the Hudson River.
Oh my
Right.
God. So you had to kind of take a long walk, huh?
It was a long walk.
Yeah.
I was chasing our perpetrator, you know. Now, this man or woman, we actually don't know. I never saw his face, his or her face. It was really dark.
It was very dark and stormy, like
It
you were
was
saying.
stormy. They were wearing a black raincoat.
Yeah. They
But-
always do. Black raincoat, hat, glass. What is it?
But they were running extremely fast for carrying a half-grown maple tree. I don't know how they
It
did
wasn't
it.
a half-grown maple tree.
It
It was a
wasn't?
full-grown maple tree. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there at all. I was away on business.
Wait a second. The glasses.
What do you
It
mean?
was you.
Never!
She took the maple tree. You're under arrest. Get up. You're under arrest.
I'm
Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Get out.
Show them my arm. Where's it going?
This was a good lesson. We're gonna take it to the studio. Right now, I gotta go book her. Zoom in.